In 2022, FIFA hosted the World Cup in Qatar. It was the most controversial sporting event in history. It was also the most profitable, generating $7.5 billion. The 2018 Russia World Cup brought in $5.4 billion. The upcoming 2026 World Cup is projected to clear $11 billion. FIFA is a massive financial success. But here is the paradox. FIFA is by law a non-profit. That's not a joke. On paper, they are an association registered in Switzerland. Their stated goal is not to make money. It is promoting the game of football, protecting its integrity, and bringing the game to all. This raises a huge question. If FIFA is a non-profit, where did all the billions go? The answer is not what you think. It reveals the hidden system that controls our planet's biggest sport. To understand FIFA, you have to forget the word non-profit as you know it. You're probably thinking of a charity, a soup kitchen, or an organization that loses money. That is not what FIFA is. FIFA is registered in Zurich, Switzerland. This is not an accident. Swiss law offers incredible benefits to organizations like this. Under Swiss law, FIFA is an association. This is a special legal status. It simply means FIFA has no owners. It has no shareholders. No single person owns FIFA. This means it cannot pay out dividends. Any profit it makes, and it makes billions, must be reinvested back into the association. And what is the association's stated goal? To develop football everywhere. This is the official answer. This is the story FIFA tells the world. When asked where the $7.5 billion goes, FIFA will point to their Forward program. This is a development fund. FIFA sends billions to the 211 other football associations. Money to build new fields, money for youth leagues, money for women's programs. The money comes in from sponsors. It goes out to develop the game. A perfect, clean cycle. At least that's the story. The reality is far more complex. To understand the truth, you need to know that FIFA is not really a sports body. It's a political one. It didn't start this way. FIFA was born in 1904. It was founded in Paris by a few European countries. They wanted simple rules for international games. For over 70 years, FIFA was tiny. It was run by part-time officials out of a small apartment in Zurich. They organized tournaments, but there was almost no money involved. The World Cup existed, but it was just a sporting event. It wasn't a business. The early presidents were idealists. They ran FIFA as a gentleman's club. The organization was, in spirit and in practice, a true nonprofit. It had no money to hide. It had no power to sell. Then, in 1974, everything changed. A new man ran for president, and he had a very different idea. His name was João Havelange. Havelange was a Brazilian businessman. He was not an old-world idealist. He saw what FIFA could be. He saw football not just as a game, but as a global product. And he saw a path to power. At the time, FIFA was dominated by Europeans. Havelange had a simple, brilliant pitch. He traveled the world, especially to the new independent nations in Africa and Asia. He told them a story. The Europeans have run this club for 70 years. They ignore you. Elect me, and I will use FIFA's money to help you. I will expand the World Cup so you can play. It was a political revolution. He won, easily, but now he had a problem. He had made a lot of promises, and he had no money. FIFA was still a tiny operation. So he went to a man named Horst Dassler. Dassler was the head of Adidas. He also went to a company you might have heard of, Coca-Cola. Before Havelange, sponsorships were small. Havelange sold them the World Indictment. He packaged the World Cup. He sold exclusive rights for everything. The official drink, the official shoe. He sold the TV rights for staggering sums. For the first time, serious money poured into FIFA, hundreds of millions of dollars. Havelange kept his promise. He created new development projects. He sent money from Coke and Adidas to the small nations that had elected him. He expanded the World Cup from 16 to 24 teams. This gave more spots to Africa and Asia. But in doing this, he created the system that defines FIFA to this day. The money flowed from massive corporations through FIFA's central office in Zurich and out to the 200-plus member nations. This is the key. In FIFA's General Assembly, every nation gets one vote. The vote of world champion Argentina is worth the same as the vote of Bhutan. The vote of Germany is worth the same as Montserrat, a tiny island with 5,000 people. Havelange understood this. The money wasn't just for development. The money was for loyalty. It was a patronage system. You keep voting for me, I keep sending the money. He ran FIFA for 24 years, an undisputed king, but his system was built on a dark secret. The money he got from his marketing partners, it wasn't all clean. In 2012, a Swiss court finally proved what everyone had suspected. The court found that Havelange and his son-in-law had taken over $40 million in bribes. They took it from a company called ISL. ISL was the company FIFA hired to sell its own marketing rights. Think about that. FIFA paid ISL to sell its rights. ISL then paid bribes back to FIFA's own executives to get those rights. It was a perfect closed loop of corruption, and Havelange's general secretary saw it all. His hand-picked protege, a man who would perfect the system, a man named Sepp Blatter. Sepp Blatter became president in 1998. He took Havelange's system and put it on steroids. Blatter was the ultimate politician. He knew the money was the key to power. He expanded the development idea into something called the goal program. It sounded wonderful. FIFA would use its new massive profits to send money to every member. This money was to build new headquarters, artificial pitches, and youth programs. On the surface, a lot of that happened. You can find goal program fields all over the world. This is FIFA's nonprofit status in action. The billions from TV rights came in. The millions in goal payments went out. The books were balanced. Everything was reinvested. It was, on paper, perfectly legal. But Blatter, like Havelange, used this money to secure his kingdom. Every 4 years, he would run for re-election. And he would remind the 211 members, I am the one who gives you this money. The goal program comes from me. If you vote for someone else, the money might stop. He won, and won, and won. In 2011, he ran against Mohammed bin Hammam of Qatar. Bin Hammam tried to beat Blatter at his own game. He was caught handing out envelopes. Each envelope contained $40,000 in cash to Caribbean football officials. He was banned for life. Blatter ran unopposed. He had mastered the system. Why use a messy, illegal cash bribe when you can legally promise a $400,000 goal program check? Under Blatter, the revenues became insane. The World Cup bidding process became the most lucrative and corrupt game in town. Countries didn't just ask to host the World Cup. They had to win a vote. The vote was cast by a small, secret group of 22 men. The Executive Committee, or Exco, these men held the power of kings. They had the one thing every country wanted, a vote. And those votes were for sale. We know this because of the investigations that came later. The 2010 World Cup in South Africa, a historic moment. But how did they get it? We now know that $10 million was paid. The money was routed from a FIFA account. It was disguised as a development fund. It was, in reality, a bribe. It was paid to a man named Jack Warner. Warner was the head of football for North and Central America, CONCACAF. He was an Exco member. He controlled 3 votes. He got $10 million. South Africa got the World Cup. This wasn't a one-off. This was the system. And it all came to a head with one disastrous, impossible decision. The decision that would finally burn the entire empire to the ground. December 2nd, 2010. FIFA headquarters in Zurich. Sepp Blatter stood on stage. In an unprecedented move, FIFA announced the hosts for 2 World Cups at the same time, 2018 and 2022. The 2018 bid went to Russia. No big surprise. Then, Blatter opened the second envelope. The winner to organize the 2022 World Cup is Qatar. The world was stunned. Qatar, a tiny desert nation. It had almost no stadiums. It had no football history. The summer temperatures hit 120 degrees. It was dangerous to play. It was, by all technical evaluations, the worst bid. It beat the United States. It beat Australia. It beat Japan. How? The same way. Money. We now know that at least 3 African officials were paid $1.5 million each to vote for Qatar. Another official from South America was caught on tape asking for millions. The entire thing was bought. The price tag for the 2022 World Cup vote is estimated to be over $100 million in direct bribes. This was the moment the system broke. It was too much, too obvious, too greedy. And the country that lost, the United States, decided to look closer. The U.S. Department of Justice launched an investigation. They didn't care about Swiss association law. They cared about racketeering. They saw an organization acting like an organized crime syndicate. They found a hook. American banks were used to transfer the bribe money that gave them jurisdiction. They also found a key witness, an American FIFA executive named Chuck Blazer. Blazer was a cartoon villain, a large man with a parrot who zipped around New York on a mobility scooter. He hadn't paid taxes in years. The FBI cornered him. He agreed to flip. For years, Chuck Blazer went to secret FIFA meetings. With a wiretap hidden in his keychain, he recorded everything. The evidence was overwhelming. And on May 27th, 2015, the world woke up. At dawn, Swiss police, acting on a U.S. warrant, raided the luxury Bor Olac Hotel in Zurich. This was where the FIFA elite always stayed. They went room by room. They arrested 7 high-ranking FIFA officials. They were let out with white bed sheets over their heads. U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch unveiled the indictment. The charges: racketeering, wire fraud, and money laundering conspiracy. The total cited: over $150 million in bribes. Lynch called FIFA a World Cup of fraud. The entire world saw the truth. This was where the money went. It went into the pockets of these men. The nonprofit was a front for a criminal enterprise. Sepp Blatter, just days after being reelected, was forced to resign. His kingdom had crumbled. FIFA promised to change. It was reform or die. They promised transparency, a new era. They elected a new president, Gianni Infantino. Infantino was a Swiss lawyer. He was Blatter's former right-hand man, but he presented himself as the reformer, the cleanup guy. He promised to bring football back to FIFA. So, what did he change? First, he dissolved the corrupt 22-man Exco. He replaced it with a new 37-member FIFA Council. Then, he took Blatter's goal program, and he renamed it. It's now called FIFA Forward. And he didn't shrink it, he made it massive. This is the most important part. Under Blatter, each nation got a few $100,000. Under Infantino's first FIFA Forward program, that payment jumped to $1.25 million per year. Then, after the $7.5 billion Qatar World Cup, he raised it again. Today, every single one of the 201 member associations gets $8 million over a 4-year cycle. Guaranteed. The system didn't break, it just got a new name, it just became more expensive. The money from the $7.5 billion Qatar World Cup, it came in from TV and sponsors, and it went right back and out to the 201 voters. Voters who keep Infantino in power. This is the genius of the non-profit model. It's not about profit, it's about power. The money is a tool. It's reinvested, just like the law says. But it's not just reinvested in football. It's reinvested in the political system that keeps the president on his throne. Infantino, just like Havelange and Blatter, travels the world. He lands in a small country. He meets the prime minister. He hands out a giant check for $8 million. He opens a new field, paid for by FIFA Forward. And he reminds every association, I am the one who gives you this money. And it works. In 2023, Gianni Infantino ran for re-election. He ran completely unopposed. So, where did the billions go? We finally have the complete picture. It's not one answer. It's 3. Answer 1, the non-profit answer. It went to the members. FIFA's 2022 financial report is public. Of the $7.5 billion in revenue, $6.3 billion was funneled back out. It went to prize money for teams. It went to the operational costs of the tournament. And most of all, it went to the FIFA Forward development program. This is a perfect non-profit. Answer 2, the 2015 answer. It went into the pockets of criminals. The DOJ indictments proved this. Tens of millions, maybe hundreds, were siphoned off to buy votes and loyalty. They paid for luxury homes, private jets, and lavish parties. This is the answer that makes headlines, but that's almost the boring answer. That's just simple, old-fashioned greed. Answer 3, the real answer. The money went exactly where it was designed to go. It's not a secret. It's not hidden. It's published in their annual report. The billions are used to run a global political system. FIFA is not a sports body. It is a pseudo-state. It has 201 members. That is more than the United Nations. The president of FIFA is, in practice, a global head of state. He is welcomed by presidents and kings. He controls a budget larger than many small countries. And he uses that budget to ensure his power is absolute. The pattern just repeats. Havelange built the machine. Blatter perfected it. Infantino supercharged it. The money doesn't need to be stolen in a briefcase anymore. Why take a $1 million bribe when the president can officially give your nation $8 million? The corruption isn't a bug in the system. It is the system. The nonprofit status is the shield that makes it all legal. So, what do we learn from this? First, nonprofit does not mean no profit. It is a legal structure, not a moral one. It just means the money must be reinvested. Organizations like the NFL, the NCAA, and the International Olympic Committee have used this status for decades to build tax-free empires. Second, the money is a tool for power. The real product of FIFA isn't football, it's loyalty. The billions are the currency used to buy the votes of 201 nations. Third, the system is working perfectly. The 2015 scandal didn't change the model. It just put a new, more efficient manager in charge. The money flows faster than ever. The 2026 World Cup will be in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. It will be the first 48-team tournament. Why 48 teams? More games mean more TV money, but more importantly, more spots mean more small nations get to play. More small nations are happy. More happy nations vote for the man who gave them that spot. The revenue is projected to be over $11 billion. And you can be sure a huge chunk of that $11 billion will be reinvested right back into the hands of the 211 voters. We started with a question. If FIFA is a non-profit, where did the money go? The real question is, can a system built on this much money ever not be corrupt? The story of FIFA is one of the clearest examples of how money and power really work. If you want to keep exploring these stories, subscribe. History has the answers. We'll show you where to look.